What's up, everyone? Daniel here, back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about a question that I get asked a lot, because as a lot of you that subscribe to my channel may know, I was in the car rental business for a very long time. I did own a private car rental business, as well as I have a lot of experience on Turo. So a little background about me: I was on the Turo platform back when it was called Relay Rides. And for those of you that know, you may not even know that Turo was around back then, but they got bought out by a company that I believe was in Europe, and they changed their name to Turo. But if you go back and look around like 2014, 2015, they were called Relay Rides. So I've been on there as a host for a very, very long time. I've been through so many different cars on the platform. I've seen, how it started back then in 2015, 2014 to what it changed into today. So I do know a lot of people will tell you that there's not money in Turo anymore, and that's completely false. A lot of those people who say there's no money in Turo anymore is because they went and they made bad purchases. They bought vehicles that are not specific to their area, which is a very, very huge thing. And I'm going to tell you why it's a really huge thing. You basically cannot go get a vehicle and put it in an area where it's not highly demanded. And what I mean by that is a lot of people who get Turo, their first thought is, let me go get a very expensive car, a very nice car that I can bring to my city that, maybe isn't there, or, they think in their mind like, okay, this is a nice luxury car, so it'll make money because there's not many of them. But that is not true, because you can't sustain that. So what you have to do when you're going on Turo, remember, the key places, tourist areas, are going to make the most money. That's just how it goes. So if you're in Los Angeles, Houston, Miami, Phoenix, Arizona, Scottsdale, Arizona, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, Orlando. Those are just a few places to name. Dallas, Texas. Those are the major areas where you're going to get a lot of rentals on cars that are more, mid-tier and higher end. And the cars that I mean mid-tier and higher end are like, your AMG, Mercedes, your BMWs, stuff like that, Corvette C8s, stuff, those kind of cars. Even if you want to go, exotic, Lamborghini Huracan, stuff like that is going to rent in, main cities, and, where there's tourist traffic. But if you're somewhere that, doesn't necessarily have the ability to sustain a car that is, um, I would say, mid tier to, high end luxury or exotic, your best bet is to go with a vehicle that's going to make you money. So that's the problem. Everyone who goes on, not everyone, okay, a big majority of people who go on Turo, they're thinking, okay, let me get an expensive car and make the most money. That's the wrong approach to Turo. The way Turo is structured nowadays, because they do charge for everything, and there's fees for every single thing, and the everyone being on Turo has driven the price down on vehicles in the market. So understand, it's a very oversaturated market. The good thing is a lot of people gave up on Turo, so there's not as many hosts as there once was. Everyone had Turo during COVID. People were getting cars, putting 10, 20 cars on there. They couldn't sustain it. It did not last. Cars got repoed, cars got sent back, cars got sold. There's not a day that goes by that I don't see in the Turo discussion group an owner trying to get rid of their cars because they made a bad decision on what cars to get to put on Turo. So, as I was saying, what you want to do to make, $1,000 to $1,500 a month. And I'm saying this, as a start for people who, want to get into Turo, or they're not making money on Turo. I'm not saying, you can't make, 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K a month. You can, but you got to start small and you got to scale. And what I'm going to tell you right now is the best cars that you can get, or best car you can get for Turo, are used vehicles, not new, because a lot of the time people don't understand mild depreciation is going to literally destroy your car being on, on Turo, and, your ROI, your return on investment that you're going to get. Because a lot of people, I see what they do. They go get these brand new car, lease a brand new car. They put it on Turo. They do the little trick where they're going to offer unlimited miles. But what happens when you get those renters that are going to drive your car from, let's say, California to Texas and back, or California to Vegas, or California, Arizona? That's a lot of miles, and it's not worth the money, because a lot of people see the profit and they're just like, oh, I made $1,000 on this one rental. You made $1,000, but did you really make $1,000? Because when you factor in someone putting 500 to 1,000 miles on your vehicle, and you go look at the depreciation, it's not gonna make sense. So what I'm going to tell you guys in this video, what you want to do is you want to find cars that are older but not too old. Understand there's still a market for everything, but you want to find cars that are used, that have some miles on them. I'm not saying, beat, but cars like, for example, I'm going to give you guys this example of a car that does extremely, 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 extremely good. So the 2014 to, I want to say, 2019, correct me if I'm wrong, Corvette C7 is an absolute gold mine. And people don't understand this because the Corvette C7 from 2014 to 2019 really didn't change. The only thing that they did change, I would say is, adding CarPlay. They did change the transmission. I believe it had like a five or six, or I want to say 6 speed, and they changed it to the 8 speed in the later models. Which again, Turo renters do not care about this kind of stuff. So let me explain to you. So the Corvette C7 from 2014 to 2019. Let's take a look at them on Auto Trader. So let's go to Auto Trader. Let's pull up some Corvette C7. So Chevrolet Corvette, and I'm just gonna do my area, which is Los Angeles 90015, so you guys can see this as an example. Understand market research is everything when it comes to Turo, and knowing your area and knowing what cars rent in your area. And honestly, what you really could do is it's really easy. All you got to do is go to Turo. Um, Act like a guest that's booking a vehicle and go look at what's renting in your area. That's really the easiest thing to do. Look what has the most trips, look what has the most reviews, and that really can tell you what vehicle to get. So, for a lot of you that don't want this to consume your time, I'm going to show you one vehicle that works literally everywhere. When I say this works everywhere, this vehicle works in any state, in any city. You will get bookings on it. I've done so much research on it. I've known this for years. A lot of people know this. So, like I said, let's go check out the Corvette C7 and look at what you can get them for. So, we're going to Corvette C7s. It really doesn't matter the trim. I'm going to tell you guys why. So, let's do 2014 to 2019 Corvettes. And then let's sort it by the lowest. And this is just my area. I know a lot of areas are going to be different because Corvette C7s are more produced cars. There's more of them in the Midwest than there is on the West Coast over here. So let's go here. We're sorting it by the lowest. Okay, you don't want to look at those. Let's get into the actual dealer cars. Let's start here. So here's a 2015 Corvette Stingray Coupe, 59,000 miles, going for $36,000. There's another 15 right here, Corvette Stingray Coupe, that's going for 36,755 with 46,000 miles on it. Let's scroll a little bit, get into like a mid-range. This is an extremely, extremely. This is exactly what I'm talking about right here. So let's click on this one. This is a used 2015 Corvette Stingray convertible with the 2LT preferred equipment group. So when you're looking at Corvette C7s, right, you really want to look for one that is a convertible. It is not essential because the 2014 to 2019 Corvette C7s were all removable hardtops, even if it's not a convertible. However, I have had quite a few Corvette C7s and C7 Z06s, Grand Sports as well. The hardtop is kind of a process to get off. I know some of you guys that own them are like, well, it's not really hard. But for people who've never driven it, it is kind of a process. Your hardtop will get scratched up. I'm telling you, it's going to get tore up. It's going to get scratches. It's going to get dings. People removing the hardtop to put it in the trunk, doing the whole process, they're going to mess it up. Just understand that. It's not that really big of an issue, but just take that in consideration because a C7 convertible is with the button is much easier than getting the hardtop. However, if you can get the hardtop for the right price, which you can get them cheaper than the convertible, go for it. So let's go back to this. This is a 2015 Corvette C7 2LT. It has 28,000 miles on it, right? So let's look at the pictures of this car. It's red, the desirable color, chrome rims. I believe these cars have like, don't quote me if I'm wrong, I think they have like 460 or so horsepower. This one's an automatic, interior's in good condition. That's another thing. When you're checking and looking for, if you're going to purchase one of these cars, pay attention to a lot of the things like the interior condition, because this is a really, really big thing when it comes to renters on Turo. And I noticed the biggest complaints you will get is if your car's interior is not an at least a 7.5 to 8 out of 10 condition. You want it to be as nice as possible. You want it to be upkept as possible. Do not go out and just buy a C7 or a car that has a lot of wear and tear on the interior, even if it's low miles. I mean, you can always get the interior upholstered, but it's better to get one that has low miles on it. So, look at this. I mean, you don't really see anything. It's low miles. I mean, always check for stuff like, engine knock or drive the vehicle and see how it performs. See if there's any suspension issues, creaks and noises. Put yourself in the place of a renter as if you would rent a car and listen and think about things that you wouldn't want to be wrong with a vehicle when you're driving it. So keep that in consideration when you test drive a vehicle. So back to this car, like I said, extremely good condition, low miles. It's a 2015, which absolutely does not matter because the C7 platform is still extremely desirable. People think they got to run out and go lease a C8. You absolutely do not have to, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because the price that you're gonna get per day with a C7 versus a C8 is not that much different. Considering that a C8 is from 20, a car that came out in 2020, and the C7 came out in 2014. The difference in money is not that great for what you're going to get per day. You're also going to be at less at risk. And I'm going to tell you, if something happens, yes, Turo does cover it. But say someone totals this car, you're out a car that's, $36,000 versus a car that's $80,000, or give or take for the C8, which doesn't hurt as much. But you're not really out because it's going to be covered. So keep that in mind. Um, like I said, this car has a really, really nice interior. It's a very desirable car. It's a 2LT. The 2LTs have the upgraded rims, some of the performance stuff like the Valvetronic exhaust, etc. Which, again, renters really don't care about that stuff. I mean, it's good if you have it, but they really do not care that much about it where it's going to make a difference in price. So, that's a Corvette C7, which is, like I said, it's a gold mine of a car. It's an older car per se. It's really not. But it's still really nice. Like these cars are still really nice. Most people would love to ride around in a C7 versus going to Enterprise and getting a Camry for the exact same price. You see what I'm saying? So that's a Corvette C7. So let's go over here and let's go on Turo. Oh, where's your? Let me see. Let's go over here. I don't know where your option is. Oh well, let's just look at the Corvettes. So the first one that comes up, as you can see, is a Chevrolet Corvette. It's a 2016, right? From July 1st to July 4th at LAX. It's $422, which is not bad. Let's click on and see. This is an all-star host, which, if you don't know, being an all-star host on Turo does give you a lot of perks. So this vehicle is a 1LT. It's a really nice vehicle. You could tell it's upkept very good. The host has 138 trips. Understand that does not mean 138 days. One trip could be 10 days. So this guest or this host has 138 trips. He's a 4.9 star rating, which is excellent. He's an all-star host. He's called Malibu Car Rental. If you go to his reviews, oh, that's not a good one, but again, I'm going to use this as an example. So to some of the things I was talking about. So if you go to this car, right, it says the last rental. It says from a guest, and you guys got to take this into consideration because your rating is everything. And this is what I was talking about when I'm talking about the interior, the mileage of the car, and the upkeep of the car. You can't just get the car and just put it on there and just rent it like crazy and not upkeep the car. It's really, really crucial that you upkeep the vehicle. So some guy named Nicholas on this exact vehicle said the car was dirty. The car has over 116,000 miles and shows many signs of advanced wear like a very old car. The interior is in poor condition. As a car enthusiast and mechanic, it's sad to see a Corvette in this global condition. So again, you're not always going to get renters and guests like this who really care about that stuff. But every now and then you're going to get a car guy and a car enthusiast who's going to go through the car and, they're going to pick apart everything. That's not going to be the majority of your clientele, but understand people are going to do this. You cannot satisfy everybody. Even myself, I've gotten 1 star ratings on vehicles that were in extreme good condition, but the host just wasn't satisfied with little things, a button fading or, something broke in the interior, something small. You can't satisfy everybody. But you know, again, that's what goes back to. So this is a 2016 C7 1LT. with 116,000 miles. The reason it has 116,000 miles, I guarantee you, is not because he bought it with high mileage. It's because of the simple fact that if you go to this, right? Let's see, how many miles. So for my 3 day trip that I showed you guys, he's given 300 miles, which is not bad. That's what you want to do. You do not want to ever, and I repeat, ever give your car to a guest with the option for unlimited mileage. It will literally come back to bite you in the worst way humanly possible, because that's not smart business. If you're giving someone unlimited miles, understand they are going to take your vehicle and they're going to go cross country with it, or they're going to go somewhere really far, or you're going to attract a crowd that does a lot of driving, and you do not want that for your vehicle, because what's going to happen is you're going to do a rental, you're going to make a good amount of money. When the car comes back, you're going to need brakes, you're going to need tires, you're going to need an oil change. It's not worth it. I'm telling you, do not do unlimited mileage. So you want to do on a vehicle like this 100 to 150 miles a day. That's what you want to set it as. Every mile over, obviously Turo is going to charge, which is good because it's another stream of revenue. That's what you want. You want to make as much money possible out of this vehicle. Not just the rental, but the over miles. That's a part of the business. I'm sorry to say, but people go over miles, and you should be compensated for it, which you will be through Turo. So as we're going back to this vehicle, like I said, it's 6.2 liter V8 with 455 horsepower. Excellent description. This version, which is a 16, so correct me if I'm wrong, has CarPlay. I didn't know the 16s had that, but I guess they do. It has Android Auto and CarPlay, which is a major thing. The 14s and 15s, I believe, did not have CarPlay, but don't quote me on that. Another big thing you want to do, you want to have no smoking in your vehicle. Absolutely no smoking. If you allow someone to smoke in your vehicle, 95% of people that rent cars, they don't smoke. If they do smoke, they still don't want to smell smoke in the vehicle. That is a absolute, you know, big no-no to keeping your vehicle in great condition. Is do not allow smoking. You do not want to allow racing. You do not want to allow burnouts. No track days. That's a big thing that you actually have to put in your Turo description, because not every state has tracks. A lot of them do have tracks. But if you don't tell someone that they cannot take your vehicle to the drag strip or to a circuit, they will take your vehicle. I promise you, I've had so many people try to take my vehicles to Chuckwalla, Laguna, Willow Springs. They'll take it there. They will just rent the vehicle and not even tell you, which is, imagine you have a Corvette C7. Guy rents it, he rents it for, $422 total trip. He goes and takes it to Willow Springs and does 30 laps on your tires, on your brakes. Now you need an oil change, and there's a lot of wear and tear on your transmission, suspension parts, drivetrain. It's just not worth it. I have absolutely no tolerance for tracks, as you should as well. Um, Another thing that will make you, again, I see. So back to the 116,000 miles. This guy offers a limited mileage on the vehicle for $150 a day, which some of you may look at it like, okay, I'm gonna get $150 per day extra with this option that you can add onto this vehicle for unlimited mileage. Because in your mind, you're thinking, how far can a person really drive? I am telling you, if you do this, you will get that guy who will take your vehicle, for example, from California to Texas, to Atlanta, to Florida, may even go to New York, and they'll come back. There are people who will literally do that. I've had it happen. I'm telling you, I had it happen on a Porsche 911. A guy drove it from California to Miami and back because we were offering an option for unlimited mileage for like $400 extra a day, and he did it. He didn't care to pay for it, but for us, we lost. That kind of mileage on a car like that is terrible. It literally depreciates the vehicle like crazy. So, like I said, back to what I was saying with this vehicle, the Corvette C7. If you're close to an airport, this is another really big thing. If you're close to an airport and you have the means to do it and the ability to do it, you want to offer airport delivery. A lot of people will not do this on Turo because they say it's a hassle. But if you offer airport delivery of a vehicle, and there's a lot of ways that I'll get into in some of the later, other videos that I do, specifically going into deliveries and stuff with the airports. There's a lot of things that you can do that can streamline you delivering to the airport. Obviously, you're thinking like, oh, I got to have someone follow me. I got to have another vehicle. Not necessarily. You can make your fee high enough that will cover your Uber. Now, I know if you have, if this is like a second or third stream of income for you, you don't want to do that. That's fine. You don't have to, But if you do offer the option to do the major airports in your states, you're gonna make more money. Turo's gonna send you more traffic 100%. If you're able to deliver to the airports, you're gonna get like, I want to say 40, 50% more rentals than the person that does not. Because understand, just like if you land somewhere, you do not want to get in an Uber and go pick up a vehicle. You rather the vehicle be there at the airport when you get your luggage and you've already been on a long flight. You want it there, to just get in the vehicle and be on your way. You don't want to have to Uber anywhere. So it takes a lot out of that. When people see that a vehicle can be delivered to the airport, they will be more than likely to book it over a vehicle that won't be. Even the car that can't be delivered to the airport is nicer. They'll book the vehicle that's not as nice just because the host will offer airport delivery. So if you want to make airport delivery worth it for you and actually make money off of that, make it as high as possible. A lot of people will make airport delivery 90 to, the max, which I believe on Turo is like 125 or 150. That's worth your time if the airport is not too far. If your Uber's, 20 there and 20 back, it's like 40 something dollars. You just made money on the delivery as well because it's worth your time. Um, like I said, you want to have airport delivery. Another thing that you need to pay attention to with the Corvette C7 is the audience that's going to rent the C7. You will get the car enthusiast audience, but you're going to also get the cruise audience, the older audience. You will get somewhat of a young audience, and the good thing about that is Turo does charge a deposit for younger audience now on sports cars, which I'm glad they did that. They require a certain level of insurance for you to purchase too, if you're younger. Another thing you do want to do and understand is that when it comes to rentals, you cannot have emotions for a vehicle that you're solely renting. You do not want to look at this vehicle like it's your personal vehicle. It's going to get dirty. It's going to get dents. It's going to get dings. Things are going to happen to it. Just already prepare yourself for that. So you can look at the vehicle like a business product instead of looking at it like a personal product. I'm not saying you don't want to keep it nice. Keep it nice like your personal car as much as you can for the next guest, but don't look at it like it's your personal vehicle because it's gonna like tear you apart when something happens to it because you have this attachment to it. You don't want to be like that. So back to what I was saying about earning the $1,500 per month. So what you want to understand. So like this vehicle, let's go to continue. This vehicle, this C7, he has it listed at $106 a day. Yeah, it's $106 a day. So the breakdown comes to uh, $106 a day times 3 days is $320. A trip fee, which that's for Turo, you will not make money on that. It's $102. License recovery fee. Um, this allows the Turo community to conduct business at this site. Oh, okay. So this is just for LAX. I don't know if it's to other airports, but now LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, requires Turo to have a license to operate there. Um, the delivery fee for this guy is free. I don't know why he does it free. I personally would never do it free, but I mean, I guess that's going to drive him more traffic because he's got free delivery. Sales tax, minimum protection, 5760, and 300 total miles comes out to 549.98. So this car is at $106 per day. He's getting a lot of rentals on it. Me personally, when it comes to first putting a vehicle like this, the C7, on your account, it doesn't matter where you're at. You need to look and see what they're renting for. Don't try to undercut the market because what you're going to do if you try to undercut the market, say if everyone has it for like 100 to 105 per day and you go try to do 75 per day, you're going to drive the price of the C7s in your area. You're going to drive it down and you're going to only be able to get $75 a day. The next guy's going to be able to get $75 per day, where you're going to make it to where everyone's going to have to lower their C7s to that price because you drove the price down. So let's say you're just getting this vehicle and you want to get rentals versus the guys who have more rentals than you, more ratings. What you want to do is if they're going for, let's say, 100 to $105 per day, you want to put it at $90 to $95 per day. Starting out, you want to do that. So you're not going to have ratings. You're not really going to have any presence on Turo right away, but they're going to send you traffic because yours is lower in price. So if you're doing, let's see, grab my calculator right here. So let's say this guy is doing, let's say you're doing Let's see, 106. Let's do an average so I can be transparent with you guys. I don't want to give you information that's not true and just, get your hopes up about something and it not you not make the money that you're looking to make. So let's do 106 and understand out of that 106, if this guy has the Turo 75% plan, which means he gets, you know, um 75% of the rental. So let's see, 75% of 106 is $79.50. So let's go back to the calculator. Let's see, my calculator go. Let's go back to the calculator. So let's just do $80 a day is what he's getting out of that. So $80 a day times, on average, this car is going to do 15 to 25 days in rentals a month, depending on your location. So let's do 15 days. Let's do the lowest. Let's do 15. So 15 days is going to be about $1,200 in profit. So understand that this is $1,200, not including deliveries that you're going to make. You're going to make money off of deliveries, not just airport deliveries. Turo gives you the option to charge for up to 25-mile deliveries. So say you will deliver, but you only want to do up to 10 miles. Okay, you could charge $80 every time the car rents to deliver it for up to 10 miles. If you're really into this and you really, want to get more clients, say you're going to deliver up to 25 miles, but you want to charge $100 to take it to your best location, up to 25 miles. You could charge $100 extra. So out of that $100, again, Turo takes their money. So you're out of that $100, you're going to get, let's say, you're going to get, you know, I believe it's somewhere right around the same. You're going to get like $70 out of that, right? So $1,200 on the rental, on the days renting. Let's do $70 times 15 days. That's $1,050 if you're getting every single person that wants it delivered. I'm just using the average. So, let me honestly not even say that. Let's do 10 people times $70. That's $700. Let's just say 10 of the guests want you to deliver it because most will want you to deliver it. Most aren't going to pick it up from you. That's the thing. Most aren't going to pick it up from you because they're going to have to Uber to you. They're going to want it delivered to them. So that's $700 plus $1,200 comes out to about $1,900 on average, give or take. And that's decent for this car. I mean, you got to look at it like this. When you're trying to scale a business like this on a platform like Turo, you have to understand, once you do about 5 months, I would say 5 to 7 months, do not jump the gun and see that you're making even over that. Say you're not even making 1,500, but say you're making 2,500 a month. Do not jump the gun and go buy another Corvette C7 or buy another vehicle right away. Let the vehicle earn some revenue. Whatever your down payment was, use that as a like a kind of like a goal. Let's say your down payment was 2,000 or 5,000 or 7,000 to get the C7. Let that be your goal. Let that car make your down payment back before you even consider going out and buying another vehicle. So you can really scale this extremely fast and very easily. So let's say you got to the point where you've had it for 5 to 7 months. It's renting consistently. You're like, okay, I like the revenue that this is doing. Consistency is the key. It has to do it consistently. You cannot have a month where it made $400. You can't do that because you got to still factor in your payment. If you have a payment on it, I would never ever recommend go buy a car outright for Turo. Do not ever do this. Do not go cash a car out or spend $40,000 cash to buy a vehicle for Turo. Do not do that. Just trust me. Do not do that. Um, Utilize the bank loaning you money or financing a vehicle. The financing buys you time to not only pay the payment but earn revenue while you're paying the payment. You're building your credit, etc. You're in a good position. So let's say, like I said, you've had it on there for 5 to 7 months. It's been renting. It's been making you money. What you want to do is consider the same car. I tell people this all the time. If it's not broke, don't try to fix it. If your C7 is making money, do this. Go buy another C7, but get it in a different color. So if you got a red one with a black top, go find a blue one with a black top, or a black one with a black top, or certain colors I kind of not huge on. Guys do really good with yellow Corvettes. Me personally, I don't like them. I feel like a lot of people either do like them or they hate them. So I would always stick to colors like red, blue, black, or white. You cannot go wrong with these colors. If you start trying to do the crazy limes and all these bright colors, it's hit or miss because there are people who will not rent cars that are certain colors. I mean, even blue. Some people won't rent blue cars. Some people won't rent red cars. So you can't go wrong with black or white. The key to it with rentals has always been black or white when it comes to rental vehicles. That's just the easiest you can go because, you know, obviously people want to be seen, you know, sometimes when it comes to vehicles, but you know, you can't go wrong with red or blue either, but some people won't rent red or blue cars. So you can't go wrong with black or white. But like I was saying, you know, your second vehicle, get the exact same car, a different color. So now you got two Corvette C7s, and they're both generating around the same. You know, in this case, you know, on average, don't quote me on this, but use it as a ballpark average for your analysis on what vehicle to get in your area, etc. $1,900 times two vehicles. That's $3,800 per month, give or take. That's a good amount of money for a vehicle and, you know, something that's not going to take up all your time. Now, when you start getting into this and you're like, okay, I like $3,800 a month. I want to scale this into an actual business. Once you start getting into that 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cars, understand it's going to take a lot of man or woman power. You are not going to be able to manage this by yourself. You can, but you have to be dedicated to it. You cannot have a 9 to 5. You cannot have another job. You cannot have, you know, time. You can't have kids, and you know, you can have kids obviously in a family, but you need to know that it's going to take a lot of your time managing that many vehicles. At that point, you're going to need to hire someone to help you. You know, whether it's, you know, a friend or you know, your husband or wife or whoever, you know, your boyfriend, girlfriend. There's someone's going to have to help you. A friend, someone's going to have to help you because car washes, obviously, if you have a home, you can get past the car wash. You can wash it at home and save yourself actually a lot of money. That's another thing I want to get into with you guys. Car washes, keeping the car clean is a major thing. Understand most car washes are charging like $35 plus for a hand wash. You have to factor that in. That's going to eat out of your profits. You do want the car as clean as possible. If you do have a home, investing in, you know, you can go on TikTok, you can go on Amazon. They have, you know, at home car wash kits for virtually nothing with the sprayer with the little soap dispenser on the bottom of it. You get you a bucket and water hose, you can clean it at home. The little vacuums that are that plug into the cigarette lighter, they're like $19 or $20 on Amazon. So even if you get, you know, go and get you some nice, you know, shop vac, you know, that's $80 at Home Depot, it's an investment for you. And you have an extension cord, you'll never have to go to the car wash, which is a huge thing because you don't have to spend money on car washes. If you live in an apartment or somewhere where you don't have hand washes and you have, I mean, you don't have a, you know, access to, you know, a water hose and a home to clean it yourself, you do have to go to a hand wash. So or you can go to a coin wash and do it yourself, but that also takes time. Another thing that you do have to factor in is with cars like Corvettes and stuff, you have to factor in wear and tear, which is, you know, gonna be tires and brakes. These cars are really, really good when it comes to stuff like that. They've been around so long that, you know, obviously you never want to take a car to the dealership to get this stuff done. The way you win on Turo and investing in something like this is, you know, keeping your maintenance costs low. Oil changes, you know, take your car to Valvoline, take it to Jiffy Lube, take it to a good one. Understand, you know, just for simple stuff like oil changes. That's all you want to take it to those guys for. I'm not trying to throw shade, but oil changes and stuff, completely fine to take them to Jiffy Lube, Valvoline. Um, Another area where you save is say you need brakes. Okay, go on eBay, go on Amazon, preferably eBay. Buy brakes, buy rotors, you know, pads and stuff as a kit, as a whole, front and rear. Buy them aftermarket on eBay. They perform just the same as, you know, the factory stuff. To be honest, I mean, a lot of the aftermarket stuff is really good. Yes, it's going to generate more brake dust. Yes, it may wear a little faster, but it's going to save you money. I'm telling you, it's going to save you money. You know, with a car like a Corvette, you do want to have good tires. Don't go out and get Lionhearts. Don't go out and get off brands like I don't even remember what they're called, Acceleras and stuff. You do not want to do that because you do not want a situation where someone gets your C7, they get on it a little bit. And I'm not saying go crazy, they get on a little bit and it loses traction. You do not want that to happen. Turo will investigate certain things like tires when it comes down to them paying you out if you do have a total loss on a vehicle. Don't go cheap on tires. That's one thing I will tell you. Do not go cheap on. Do not go cheap on the tires. Um, you know, if you can, get some Dunlops, Yokohamas. Firestones are okay. Some Michelin's, Pirellis. Stay around those when it comes to tires. You don't need drag radials or anything like that, but just stay with a good tire, especially in the rear. Um, but like I said, the Corvette C7 with, a decent rental rate, which to me is decent. That's decent. You're getting this car for. Let's go back to it. You're getting this car for what was it, $36,000 or something like that. This one. Let me go back. Let's see real quick. Yeah, this car was 39,255. That's not bad. Um, let's see the monthly payment. Let's see the finance details. Well, I don't make changes to this. Where that came from. So let's say you want to do 72 months on it. Your credit's good. You're gonna get on a car like this. You're gonna probably get around a 10 to 11% interest rate. Let's save it. Your payment on this is going to be roughly, I want to say give or take, it's going to be around, with that number, it's going to be around 550 to 682 a month. Again, it depends on your credit as well. That's a really low payment for this vehicle. So you do have to obviously, you have to factor that into um, your profits because you do have a car payment. Um, but you're still going to clear, even with that, you're still going to clear, say your payment is 682, you're still going to make enough that you're going to clear $1,500 a month, which is good. The car's paying for yourself, plus you're making profit, which is what you're, getting on Turo for anyways. Like I said, a lot of people don't know about the Corvette C7 as far as it being a really, really, really good rental car. I will do some more videos about, I might do a video about the top cars to put on Turo for the best price. But like I said, as far as vehicles go, I really don't see a better car that you can get than a used Corvette C7. Like I said, it's a very desirable car. It has performance. Obviously, you don't want to aid people or promote reckless driving or speeding, but it's a fun car. It is a fun car. It does have power. It sounds good when you have the valve, the 2LT, or I think 3LT with these two, that has the active exhaust that you can put in track mode, and it opens up the exhaust and it sounds really good. I mean, it's an American dream to drive a Corvette. Everyone wants to drive a Corvette. They rather drive, like I said, they rather drive a Corvette than a Corolla or a Camry or a Mini Cooper or any of those cars that people tell you, oh, Priuses, I got 30 of them on Turo. That's cool and all, but again, like I said, you don't want cars that are making $30, $40 a day. When you can get a car that's making, $90 to $105 per day. And Corvette C7s are low maintenance too, man. Like, they're man and women. uh, you know, they're low maintenance cars. I mean, they really are. I mean, I've owned so many of them. I can't think, have I ever really had any issues with C7s. Other than your simple stuff like, maybe a starter or alternator, a battery. I'm trying to think. Is there anything buggy with these cars? I mean, never any real issues that I can think of. I mean, I don't want to tell you guys this in a bad way, but these cars can take a lot of wear and tear and a lot of a beating and not have any issues. And if you do have issues, there's parts everywhere for C7s. They've been out so long that you can find parts for them everywhere. I mean, motors, transmissions, anything that wouldn't be covered by Turo, which that stuff would be, covered if, forbid that a guest did something to your vehicle and ruined it, that stuff would be covered. But parts for these cars are relatively cheap. But yeah, but let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm definitely going to cover this topic a lot more because I do see a lot of people who have a lot of questions about this topic who do want to get into something like rentals, but they don't want to go full blown and have a private rental company where they got to deal with insurance and wrecks and all, that kind of stuff by themselves. But yeah, guys, this is another video. Like I said, I'm going to be covering this topic a lot more. But definitely let me know if you have any questions about vehicles. I'll answer them here, or you can message me on Instagram. And I'll be more than glad to answer any questions you guys have about C7s, and I can also help you find them if you're not having a easy time finding them. You can look in California. It's relatively cheap to ship a vehicle, and a lot of companies that are on Auto Trader do have online paperwork, which is a good thing because you can do all the paperwork online. And some of these dealers will even ship it to you at a very low rate if you're somewhere else outside of California. Another good place to find C7s before I end this video is the Midwest: Detroit, Missouri, Oklahoma, places like that, you can get Corvettes for a lot cheaper than you can on the West Coast. There's a lot more of them. So, like I said, like and subscribe. And yeah, guys, I'm out.